Okay, everybody is ready?
Yes.
And here we go.
Hi, Baker! A couple months ago, my partner and I binge watched the entirety of Nailed It, which is a short form baking competition show and a Netflix original series.
Nailed it!
It is Emmy nominated, it is very addictive, and it's oftentimes leaves you hungry for more. Nailed It is hosted by this lovely woman named Nicole, otherwise known as Nicole, and every episode she is joined by her co-host and French man, Jacques Torres, who is a famous chocolatier and baking chef. Baking chef? He makes the desserts. Nicole is not a baking expert, and that's... I'll leave it at that. But she makes up for it with her charm. That sounded sarcastic, but I do mean that. Nicole is a great host, and Jacques and her have a genuine chemistry that is very entertaining to watch. Every Nailed It episode is exactly the same. We are greeted by Nicole, we are introduced to Jacques, they have a little bit of back and forth, they sit behind their giant desk, and then we are introduced to the guest judge. The guest judge can be a person of actual culinary experience and knowledge, and then sometimes, like in our case for the episode that we're about to talk about, the guest judge is a football player. I don't remember his name.
Johnny Hacker!
I'm sure he's a wonderful player, but he does introduce himself as kind of like third choice. Like he's like, I know the big football players couldn't show up, so that's why I'm here.
You guys probably got denied by 200 other NFL players.
Which is very insulting to Nailed It, to Nicole, to Jacques, to Netflix, and to the contestants. Oh, I almost forgot the contestants. Nailed It is not a baking show about people who are chefs or experts per se, or maybe they haven't even stepped foot into a kitchen, even though their at-home footage to introduce themselves suggests otherwise. They're lying. They're lying. That's not real footage. There's no fucking way, and we're about to find out why. The shtick of Nailed It is that these people fucking suck. They're not good at baking. That's why the show feels almost sad to binge watch, because it's not like you're watching the best of the best. You're watching regular Joes, people who have regular jobs that have nothing to do with baking, and they're like, hi, I'm Betty. Or they have a great desire to bake. Sometimes some of the contestants go as even far to say, my dream is to open a cupcake shop. And then you're left watching this person that doesn't know how to crack an egg attempt to make cupcakes for the fourth time in their life, and you're just watching dreams die. The episode in question contains 3 different contestants, but I want to be very clear that I'm about to talk about could have happened to any 3 unfortunate souls who happen to be a part of Nailed It, okay? Each episode contains one sort of starter challenge and then one bigger challenge. The starter challenge, usually contestants get about 30 to 45 minutes to an hour to create a small cake or decorate a cookie. They're establishing some sort of basic skills in the kitchen when it comes to baking a dessert. Then comes the main event, the bigger challenge, the Nailed It or Failed It, the reason why we're here. And the 3 contestants who have no baking skills whatsoever, they have not gained anything in the flurry of the past 30 minutes in which they made some of the ugliest looking desserts you've ever seen. Dessert that Jacques Torres puts into his mouth and then spits out and says, oh, I'm sorry, it is so bad. Now these unsuspecting individuals are forced to make some of the most mind-bending, beautiful, and complex cakes that any of us have ever seen. The episode that we're talking about right now, the cake they have to make is a barbecue cake. Just as a heads up, we're not going to be talking about the barbecue cake. We're not going to make it there. Like I said, that's the main challenge, right? I don't even remember who wins this episode. It doesn't matter, because everything that precedes it, including the football players saying, I don't really want to be here, to camera, down the barrel of the lens, yeah, it doesn't matter that they make a fucking barbecue cake. Nailed it, as I've explained, and that is abundantly clear in the show's trailers and in its marketing and throughout every other episode. It is a baking competition show. These people want to open their pâtisseries, okay? They want to be able to make a birthday cake for their children. So why is this challenge asking these poor people to make a monstrosity of a guacamole dip? It's a football stadium guacamole, like, abomination. This disgusting spread is split into 3 sections, one for each contestant. There is a large guacamole football field in the center, decorated with black olives that spell out "nailed it." Upon the guacamole football field, there are pigs in blankets. If you don't know what a pig in a blanket is, it's a little hot dog wrapped in Pillsbury Doughboy crescent roll pre-made dough. It's like eating a hot dog, but not at all. And the pigs in the blankets aren't just plopped upon the guacamole. No, they are pigs in blankets, football players, and referees. So some of them have like edible black and white paint on them. At this point, you might be saying, Claudia, stop. That's too much. Claudia, please stop. My stomach is churning. What Nicole refers to as the salsa and queso end zones. There is a vat, a aluminum foil vat tin of queso, which is like spicy cheese dip for chips. And then the other side is some salsa, again in a trough, decorating the ends of this dip feast. Then, oh, there's more. To represent the adoring football fans, the crowd watching the game, there are various root vegetables cut up into sticks, perfect for dipping. Carrots, jicama, whatever the fuck this is. There's some cheese. There are some little chips just tossed in there, little scoops for the dips. Popcorn. There's popcorn. And then, erected from the field are the lights that light up the football field so that the pigs in the blankets, players and referees, don't get lost in the dark, of course. Pepperoni sticks to represent the lights with, like, I think a saltine cracker placed upon each one, and on the cracker, 4 cheese balls are stuck upon each saltine square. Get it? Because the cheese balls are the lights. And then piped onto the guacamole football terrain, there are lines of sour cream. You know, because this is a very realistic football field, so you need to know, you know, there's all those lines on the football field. Right? So now you're probably thinking, Claudia, where do we go from here? Well, Nicole reminds us, you know, after we've been introduced to this mess, she breaks us out of our trance, we the viewer and the competitors, and she says, you have to fucking make this. Go pick your tier that you want. Go on. Go make me some guac. Of course, in a normal challenge on Nailed It, the competitors run towards the dessert and they pick maybe the one that looks the easiest or the color that they like. No, here the players, let's call them, run towards 3 identical tiers of guacamole along with their accompanying dipping tools. One competitor says, I've made guacamole before.
I've made guacamole one time. The way I use a knife is a lot like the way I use a sword.
And then this lovely southern woman says, I don't even know what the hell guacamole is.
I'm from Texas.
I've never made guacamole in my life. And then I don't know what the last guy does. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't understand why the challenge that they start off with requires them to cut up root vegetables, make salsa and guacamole, and then wrap little hot dogs in pre-made dough for 45 minutes. I don't understand why that's Like, is this hard? And you might be saying, Claudia, of course it's hard. How dare you sit here and complain and moan and bitch about these people and their shitty guacamole. You don't even know how to make guacamole. You try it. You probably don't even have a guacamole recipe that you are prepared with, that is up your sleeve for any unexpected party invitation. We need dip. We need dip. Who's gonna bring us dip? You're not you. There's no way. And to that I say, I have a great guacamole recipe, and I'm gonna make it in 30 minutes, just like the contestants. And it's gonna be so delicious, and I'm even gonna share the recipe with you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, that's a lot. Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. We muscle through this challenge, barely, and watch our 3 contestants struggle to make guacamole. One of them doesn't make enough guacamole, so it doesn't fit the pan. I don't know.
Looks like it's gonna feel that big old pan. Shoot, it's okay.
The contestant who is tasked to make the salsa,
I don't look up the recipe, I just kind of put what I like in salsa.
he blends up the tomatoes weird, and when he takes the lid off of the blender, they're just so liquidy and gross, so then he just adds more tomato. I thickened it up a little bit, like as if this is salvageable, like any of this.
What is this? What is this thing?
There's carrots and cheese, and I don't know what that white stuff is. Apparently it's jicama. It's a root vegetable. I've never heard of it. He's never heard of it. No one on the show, not even the technical director in the back, he can't even say, there's the jicama. No one is here to help these people.
Mark's having a hard time finding jicama.
Well, I'm gonna improvise. So they're gonna get this.
The other contestant who has to make the queso, he grabs this chunk of cheese and just puts it into a pot on the burner and is just mixing this melting cheese chunk.
I am king of the cheese.
I don't know how to make queso. I could probably figure out how to make salsa and throw chips in a container. Regardless of your skill set, this is so wrong. Like, you know that that's not what you're supposed to do. Even watching the contestants' fingers on the food and the lack of hand washing that goes on in these cursed warehouse fake kitchens, it's bad. It's really unfortunate that the judges have to eat the food that these people make. And Nicole often comments on how she, as a part of her job as the host of the show, has to consume the borderline poison, the chemical reaction that they are being served on plates. It's disgusting. The southern contestant, she has to make popcorn, and her popcorn, like, it's just smoking.
Okay, obviously there's problems with the popcorn.
There's just smoke that the shaky, reality television cam happens because the cameraman has to run over with that heavy fucking camera to zoom in on this southern woman go, oh no, my popcorn. My popcorn's all fucking burnt. Oh lordy, it's all burnt and fucked. Throw it in the trash. No, she can't even do that. The popcorn bag bounces off the top of the trash and falls behind the trash can.
It's okay.
The queso man, his cheese is chunky and weird. The salsa man, there is salsa in the tin.
The wieners, the wieners. Where did they put the wieners?
The pigs in the blanket, they are so gross. Then comes the time for the contestants to present the fucking shit they made. And the judges take a little scoop and they try the guacamole from each contestant, and they try the queso and the salsa, and it doesn't matter. And then they tell the lady who said she's never tried a guacamole before that her guacamole is okay and she's very proud of herself, while the popcorn in the background is like burning the place down. And then we move on so quickly.
This brand new knife set.
Nice.
And the next curtain opens and they're like, make this fucking barbecue cake. And then the curtain opens and they're told, make this fucking barbecue cake.
What? Oh my gosh.
Go on. And they're like, oh, we haven't baked anything yet. If only there was a challenge before this one that could have prepared us to bake.